Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders, and welcome to part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the week of October 10th through October 14th. Again, this is part 2. We'll talk about the top swing trading stocks to watch, as well as updates to our other individual stocks for our other watch lists and our bullpen and our shopping list, etc. And thank you for joining us for the live stream. Good morning, Ollie in the Bay, Nug M, Alan Krentz, Spacula. Glad to see you all here. Thank you for joining us again. So here's our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for, again, the week of October 10th through October 14th. If you haven't already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled Don't Move Until You See It, we would highly recommend that you view that, as that contains all our market analysis, our strategies, etc., of why we're picking this top swing trading stocks that we are for our watch list for this week. Again, this is a Google document. It's publicly available. The link should be in the description box below, as well as the link to the public Google Drive, where all of these notes for our weekly trading game plans are available. So you can access those. It has links to all the other videos that I reference, as well as the tools, etc., that we reference in our game plan. So we hope that all helps. So we'll get started. We'll start with trade updates. We really, and again, kind of goes along with the theme from yesterday's part 1, is don't move until you'll see it. You'll see we really only made one major trade last week. The markets were pretty volatile, but we made a nice profit on this trade. We'll talk about how we're going to strategize, position ourselves to make similar trades in the current market conditions, which seem again to be similar. So we had a long position, a big long position in VTI that we entered in on the 30th at 180. You can see we got stopped out at that CPI data. I moved my stop up right before the CPI data, or I should say the employment data came out. I'm thinking CPI because that's coming out this week. So right before that employment jobs data came out on the 7th, I moved the stop up to be below a pivot point, a support level, just in case the market dumped on that employment data, which it did. And we got stopped out at 185.21, but we made a nice profit, about 3%, which equates to a monthly ROI of about 12%. So again, we're very pleased and made a nice profit. And again, we're going to show you that we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to look at this trade just very briefly in the in Webull. And I'll show you where, we got in on the 30th at 180. So we got in there kind of near the bottom there when it bottomed out. Not quite the absolute bottom, but good enough. And then we rode this swing up. When it rolled over, I'll zoom in a little bit and we'll see that rollover on the 7th. So when that employment data came out and it dumped below, you can see I put my stop 185.21. So that was probably up in here, Those pivot points, they change given the data. So since I'm looking at a 5-day chart, it changes a little bit. Also, I'm looking at pivot points in both Webull and Thinkorswim and picking the lowest common denominator between those pivot points to maximize the chance I don't get stopped out unless the market does really reverse. And so, again, we made a nice profit up to that 185 point. So again, my goal is I'm not trying to get the absolute bottom, the absolute tops. I'm trying to let my winners run. If the market had continued up, that'd be great. We would keep riding it up. And again, just since we're talking about VTI and I've got the chart up right now, this is our strategy going forward. You're going to see VTIs back on our watch list. We're going to wait for the markets to bottom again. We talked about yesterday, we're still in a bear market. The employment data really shocked the market. There's a lot of fear, although the VIX hasn't really spiked, but you can see it definitely rolled over and is headed down. Wherever it bottoms again, we're going to go long big again, VTI, and we're going to keep doing this scalping until the market eventually bottoms, turns up, and keeps going up. which eventually we expect in a long term. So that's our strategy on VTI. Again, we'll just keep doing this scalping, take our profits until the markets eventually reverse and head back up, and eventually we end up back in a bullish market, which again, long term, that's the trend. You know, the markets in over long periods of time go up, but in the meantime, we're going to keep making, you know, a couple points on these scalps, and with a large position, it's a nice profit. So we're going to keep accumulating, compounding those profits, taking the cash out, compounding it again. So we hope that helps. And again, this is one of my favorite strategies right now, is scalping the VTI until it turns around. So congratulations to all of our other fellow BeachBum traders that also profited on this scalp swing in VTI. Hopefully you made good money as well. And as I mentioned, I just talked about our strategy for how we're going to do that. So just a reminder, if you want to get real-time alerts when I make these trades, when we go long, when we get stopped out, when we sell, we post those to our Patreon members. They get email notifications. And then also those alerts get posted to the alerts channel in our Discord. Our Discord is free to join, but the alerts channels and our watch list channels are exclusive to our Patreon members. So if you want access to those channels and see, you know, when we take positions, when we get stopped out of positions, they will be posted in these alerts channels here. So you can see some of these are triggered by alerts I have set in Thinkorswim, and then if we actually take a position or if it actually closed out, you can see then I update it with the data from that position, from that alert. So I hope that helps. Also, and you'll see in this alerts channel, as well as I put a couple examples of this where I moved a stop up on a position that we're still in. So we're still holding our position in USOI, which is the ETN, monthly dividend paying ETN on oil. And you saw oil ran up towards the end of the week after that OPEC production quota cut. And so our USOI position is showing a nice profit. If oil reverses, I'd like to protect my profit. So I've been manually moving my stop up to be just below these pivot points. And I'll show you that one as well real quickly. We'll look at USOI. So you see they did a reverse split recently. So that kind of skews the chart a bit, but you can see it's been running up. So you can see I have this alert set where my stops are currently set as I move them up. So if USOI continues up, breaks through that next pivot point level, I'll probably move this stop up to be just below that R1 level, and then I'll move my alert up accordingly. So I also posted that in the trade alerts channel in our Discord. And the question is for our, again, that's mainly for our Patreon members who have access to that channel. But the question is if you find that valuable. As I move these stops up, which I do manually as the stock price breaks through subsequent resistance levels, etc., then I'm going to manually move that stop up, protect my profits, as we have a video that explains how I do this. It shows examples of how I do this. Would it be of value to you if I continue to post those cases where I move my stops up? So let us know in the Discord. You know, if you find that valuable, I'll continue to do that. If it's not valuable, if it's just noise, then let me know that, and I won't bother you with that. So lessons learned, maybe I'll babble about later, but let's get to our top swing trading stocks for this week. Just check the chat. If you have a question and I miss it, please repost it. Thank you, Spacula, for encouraging people to subscribe. Please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please hit the like button. We really want to build our community, so we want to get this content out to more fellow traders and encourage more people to get in the market. And I talked about this a little yesterday, so I won't get on my soapbox right this second, maybe a little later. But thank you. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please hit the notify. Alan Krantz says, I like to know targets. I will talk about that, how you can see our price targets in a few minutes. So now I'll just quickly spin through any changes to our watch list, and then we'll jump over in Webull and we'll actually look at the charts of each of these, what I currently have in my watch list. So FANGU, FNGU is the long on the FANG stocks, and we've had that in our watch list, and we'll continue to do that. The reason for this, and you're going to see this theme again, and we talked about this yesterday, is we expect some bull rallies in this bear market like we saw early last week, and there's some great opportunities for profit when those rallies start. And again, that's why the title of our video yesterday was Don't Move Till You See It. So when we see one of these bull rallies start, there's some opportunities, and they've been trying to run the NASDAQ. They've been trying to run tech growth stocks, and it's been failing. But for several days, you know, they may run. And there's opportunities if you're a shorter term trader, be it a swing, scalp, breakout, momentum, day, etc. There are opportunities in these areas. So you're going to see several things on our watch list that are along the lines of that theme. FANGU is one. The FANG stocks, you know, they're quality companies, Apple, Facebook, Netflix, Google, etc. Facebook's still in there. We won't talk about that. But the point being is when they decide they want to start dumping money into those, the FANGs are probably going to go up. So we'll look at that again in a minute. And to answer your question, Alan Krantz asked if anybody watched the OPEC meeting. I saw the CNBC coverage of the OPEC meeting and the commentary. I didn't watch the actual OPEC meeting itself. So the next one on our watch list is Generac. We had Generac in our bullpen. It got pushed down with the market, and it's breaking down through support. I'm waiting for Generac to find a bottom, but we put it into our watch list from our bullpen because it had reached its 52-week low. I like the concept, but again, strategy-wise, and we'll talk about this when we get to our shopping list in Q&A, is, you know, a lot of stocks are going to get pushed down with their sector, with the market, etc. When they eventually break out and turn based on their individual merit, then we would look at going long at Generac. Same way with MP Materials. It gets beat down with basic materials. So when that sector gets pushed down, MP gets pushed down. It's a little high right now. It's about 30, I think. But we like that concept, and you can see the due diligence video for MP. And again, we moved that up from our bullpen on the 26th. OPP is a bond fund, fixed income bond fund that pays a very nice dividend, around 19%. And it's very choppy. Bonds have been beaten down too with rising interest rates, strong dollar, etc. So the bonds in general, we looked at treasuries yesterday, all the curves, you know, were headed down. When this eventually bottoms and turns, again, here's a good one to sit in. If you've got cash, you want to park, wait, and earn a nice dividend yield. We like that one, OPP. SOXL, again, same. We've talked about cycles in semiconductors, and we're talked about the bottoming of the sentiment in semiconductors and looking for a bottom and turn up. Again, this was running even harder than the tech stocks when they started, you know, their bull rally. So again, we expect something similar when the bull rally starts. Watch SOXL to be one of the the ones that attracts money and starts to run. So again, if you're nimble, if you're more nimble than I am, good opportunities for shorter term trades there. And again, we'll get to our ETF spreadsheet in a while too, but for your shorter term traders, day traders, etc., you could trade the longs up, and then when it rolls over and we head back down in our bear market, you can trade the shorts and make a lot of money if you're nimble. So SVXY, talked about yesterday that volatility, the VIX really hasn't spiked yet. We haven't gotten that panic, all out fear. It's sitting in the 30s. I think it's still, I can look real quick. I think it's about 30.6, or let's see, 31.36 right now. So it's still in the low 30s. But if we get a capitulation, a real panic, the VIX will spike. I've got a big buy order sitting at the previous low for SVXY. It's just above the 52-week low for SVXY. If we get that panic, those big orders will hit. The nature of the VIX is for it to retrace, come back down. So we'll make a lot of money shorting the VIX if we catch that spike. So again, that's a major part of our current strategy in this market. As we're in the bear market, as volatility increases, and again, same way, if you want to play a volatility long for a shorter time frame, the risk reward, with it sitting at 30, chances are it might hit 40, but unless we get some major event like a pandemic or something, it's not going to go much above that. So your risk reward for longing, you want to stay very short term, right? And the one to long is UVXY. Then we've got uranium plays. The one we've got on our watch list is UROY. We'll look at a couple also in our bullpen. And we've talked about for some time about uranium being moved with the energy sector with XLE. But we like some opportunities in the uranium sector. And again, we've been talking about this for weeks as well. So good morning, Born to Be Free. Glad to see you. Thank you for joining us. Walter Lyons, good morning. Glad to see you again. Hope you all are doing well. So somebody, I'm sorry, I forgot already. Krantz was asking about price targets. We do publish price targets to a web page that is available to our Patreon members. And it's automatically updated daily. So if you want to see intra-week updates to our watch list, including price targets, again, that are updated automatically daily, you can join our Patreon. Also, if I make changes during the day to our watch list, we have a channel in our Discord that our Patreon members have access to, and I would post intraday change to our watch list in that channel. So, and then the next day that would get picked up and automatically published to the web page that I use and that Patreon members have access to. So if you'd like that information, it is available to our Patreon members. So, and we have several of our Patreon members in the live chat, and I'll leave it to them to discuss, the value of becoming a Patreon member, etc. So, okay, so let's quickly look at our main watch list. So another nice thing about Webull is it's quick and easy to maintain multiple watch lists. Again, I've got a video on how this works. Again, if you're not already using Webull, they're still offering their 12 free stocks. So again, this is our favorite trading platform. It's what we do the majority of our actual trading in. And you can get 12 free stocks right now. Again, this is the highest offer they've made to date. 2 for just signing up, each valued up to $300. And if you put any amount, deposit any amount, even $1, you can get up to 10 more free stocks valued up to $3,000. So again, if If you're not already using Webull, the question is why not? And you might as well get your 12 free stocks, even if you choose not to use the platform going forward. You can cash them out, take your money, and go somewhere else. That's fine. So again, we talked about Fang Yu. You can see, I'm going to zoom it out a little bit. You can see with it looks, very similar to the whole market. They tried to run it up, hit the resistance, failed, came down. Now we just want to see where the bottom is, if they're going to push the markets down on Monday or try to run it. We want to adapt and react accordingly. And again, that's the point, is don't move till you see it. When we see this turn and head up, then we want a long Fang Yu. If it were to top and you want to play it short, there's a FNGD, which is the short version. So if you want to play both sides, you can see over the course of just a couple days, you can make some good money. So Generac, again, we see it broke down through support. Don't know where it's going to go. We want to see it establish a bottom, establish support, turn up. It had gotten run up before the hurricane, and we didn't chase it. And you can see it pretty much leveled out, and then the sell the news after the hurricane, which again doesn't really affect their business. They're profitable. There's still plenty of sales to be made in the aftermath of the hurricane. So RH, is that RH Hardware Specula? I can look at it real quick if that's the ticker you're asking to look at. Oh. So you can see how easy it is to look up a ticker. Oh, a retailer. Yeah, RH Hardware. Yeah. I would want to do some more due diligence. We know there's issues with the housing market, etc. Yeah, I'd want to look at that in more detail. It looks like it's cycling. It's a little up off the bottom. Yeah, I'd want to do more due diligence on RH. If you're interested in that, I can do a due diligence on that if you want. So we talked about Generac, MP Materials. You can see it's bounced up a little bit. We'd like it to come down, get a little bit cheaper. So you can see I lowered my price target on that down to about 23 because it had broken down below its 52-week low, and then it bounced. So the question is, where's it going to bottom again? It's making very similar things, making a high and then heading down. Is it going to make a lower low? I'm not sure. OPP, again, this is that bond fund. You can see it's very choppy. I've got a target down at 917, which was the previous low, and then you see it really popped up when the market rallied and then dumped on the jobs news as interest rate fears increased. The bond market's dumped. Good morning, Slatty. Glad to see you join us. Looks like a new face. He's asking about the SPY, and we talked about that yesterday. That it's in a bear market, kind of fell off the cliff with the jobs data. We expect it to continue in a bear market. The question is, going to make a lower low, which is kind of in a bear market that we would kind of expect this similar behavior. If it makes another lower low, then the question is, when are they going to try the bull rally? And again, our recommendation, again, none of this is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. This is all for education and entertainment purposes only. But, don't move till you see it. And we're in a bear market, so we would kind of expect until we see a real capitulation. We'd expect lower lows and continuing down in a bear market, but they're going to make these runs, these bull runs, and so it's going to go up for a couple days and then continue down until something changes. So, again, my opinion, but talked about SOXL, SOXL, which is again the long on semiconductors. You can see it bottom. They ran it up. It came back down. When it bottoms again, if it bottoms, stable, turns up, we'll long SOXL. If you want to short, SOXS, coming down, play it both ways. So again, we've got a number of these that there's plenty of ways to make money. So in any market, and that's, you know, one of the themes of our channel is let us help you find ways to make money in trading in any market. So SVXY talked about, you know, I've got my big buys sitting just above their mine are sitting at 45.07, a penny above that previous low. If they spike the VIX, they'll catch, and then we'll ride that guy up until it bottoms, and then we'll sell it and make money. TQQQ is the same way. Hopefully I still have that on there. I might have missed it, but that's another one. That same thing, same theme. Oh, I took TQQ off, I think. Yeah, it's the same theme, right? As SOXL, FANG-U. We'll look in the Etf spreadsheet at the risk-reward profile for TQQQ. That's, again, the long on the NASDAQ. The short on the NASDAQ is SQQQ. Same theme. When they start trying to run the NASDAQ, you go long TQQQ, sell it at the top. Then you go short using SQQQ, play it the other way. When that bottoms, you know, swing it back and forth. That's why, I mean, these things are great for swing trading and short term. You can see this is about a week time frame, but you can see you get these opportunities even within the course of maybe 2 days sometimes. So UROY is uranium. You see where our target is. We'd like it to come down a little bit. They ran it up a little bit with energy. It's coming down. When it comes down, we'd like to go long UROY at about 210. And we talked about our strategy with VTI. So okay, let me take a quick drink and we'll talk about our bullpen stocks, and I'll check the chat and see if I'm missing any questions. And thank you for the reminder, Spacula. I appreciate all your help. It's, again, Spacula has been one of our longtime supporters and is an enormous help in, you know, helping remind people about subscribing and liking, and I greatly appreciate it. Good morning, Tanavir. Glad to see you as well. Thank you for joining us. So now we'll talk about bullpen stocks, and for anybody that's kind of new to our channel, the concept, and I kind of stole this, I think, from Kramer originally, but I like the concept is our main watch list. I have automation that runs real time and monitors those stocks automatically real time. But the bullpen stocks are ones that aren't really quite the setup that I'd like to see, but they're kind of close. And so I monitor those. I review those at the end of the day. And if their setup improves, it looks like something we want to add to our main watch list, then we put them in the game, move them up out of the bullpen, and put them in the game in our primary watch list. So that's the concept of the bullpen. And they're kind of back up. And again, I really only review them at the end of the day and either move them up and put them in the game or take them off if they break down through support or their setup deteriorates. Then we'll take them off. So we've had AA. We talked about the aluminum theme yesterday, that aluminum's been beaten down as a commodity. And I think, you know, we'll see a cycle into more money coming back into aluminum. So again, commodity cycle. So when I see something at a bottom, it looks like an opportunity to long. The most attractive aluminum stock we could find was AA. We do have an ETF. You'll see in our ETF spreadsheet. The risk reward's not all that exciting, but AA looks good. Alcoa looks good. we've talked about big lots for a period of time. I really probably need to do a due diligence. I found I hadn't done one in the past. I know I've talked about my thesis behind big lots. We like it in general. The question is, we want to see it achieve support, as we'll see in the charts in a minute. BOIL is the long on natural gas. And we saw, again, natural gas is always very volatile. And we saw yesterday that the inventory data came out, and they actually had a increase in inventory, but the price of natural gas initially went up and then it came down. And now it's down 5% at about $6.60. So now it's down below that $7 mark. We're currently long cold, which is the short on natural gas. So that's, starting to make money, hopefully. And we had quite a run where cold was going up, in the high single digits every day, and then it turned around. So we'll see if that continues. Eventually, when natural gas bottoms, we're going to want to look at longing natural gas, because they will run it back up, even if it's a short term. And again, natural gas, oil, very volatile, but you can swing them both ways and make good money. I know a number of our traders have made good money swinging natural gas with BOIL and cold. DNN's another uranium stock, same thesis. Generac, we put in the game. Nail was one, I think. I can't remember if it was Walter Lyons or Spacula, whoever turned us on to Nail, but we've been kind of keeping an eye on that to see where that bottoms, where the home builder market bottoms, and that kind of goes with the RH theme. Spacula is that would kind of be in that same category, although I know RH is kind of a high-end, what do you want to say, accoutrement type of thing, home hardware stuff. They did very well, I know, in the pandemic when people were remodeling, etc., and that's kind of over. So I'd want to do more due diligence on RH. NXE is another uranium. I'm going to take this oil services guy off because you will see it's already run up. When oil started running up, this guy ran up. I didn't chase it. So Alan Krantz says it's cold up north. Had to turn the furnace on. Sorry to hear that, Alan. I just had to turn the air conditioning on because it's warm down here now. It was a little cooler. Now it's in the 80s again, so which is nice. A new one that you're going to see, and this is a new theme kind of in the technology, very similar to semiconductors, is the hard drive, the data storage hardware category, and Seagate Technologies is one of these. I heard this, I believe, on CNBC and took a look at Seagate, and it looks attractive. They do have high debt, which concerns me, but it does pay a 5% dividend, which is a little bit better than bonds right now. So as you'll see, we'll look at the chart. We'll put it in the bullpen, keep an eye on it. If it does swing back up, I kind of like Seagate. I had a Seagate drive back, probably one of the first computers I ever bought. Also, Western Digital is another one we added to our database to watch, but the setup isn't quite as attractive as Seagate. So, and then URG is another uranium. So we'll go ahead and look at the charts. I probably have to do some maintenance, so I'll have to remember what we changed. So again, you can have any number of watch lists in Webull, which is really nice. Ollie in the base says Seagate is old school. Yeah, but they've been around since a long time. Yeah, them and Western Digital. I had one of my first computers, I had a tape drive, Western Digital tape drive, and probably Seagate hard drives. That's how long those guys have been around, a long time. And they've survived, whereas a lot of technology companies are gone. So here's Alcoa. This is the aluminum. You can see I'd kind of like it a little bit cheaper. didn't quite get there, and then it started to run up a little bit. And it looks like it kind of hit that resistance and is bouncing down, so we'll see what that does. Big lots, probably zoom out a little bit. You see it kind of bottomed around 15 and went up a little bit, and then the question is that the bottom, or is it, this is looks like a downtrending, bearish type signal. So the question is that the bottom, is that going to hold, or is it going to make a new lower low? So we'll keep an eye on it. I do like big lots again. DNN, again, we like it down in the 92-ish area, but anything under $1 is pretty good. So, and you see they ran it up, came down. It looks like Head and Shoulders. It's going to come down. So again, if it comes down below $1, again, I'd love it at 92, but at 1 is nice, and you can see it's got a nice 40+% reward. Here's Nail, that home builders. You can see it bottomed around 15, where I've got a line about 19, and then it bounced up. So it's recently been as low as 20. So you see it again also hit that resistance, turn down. So we'll see what that does. If it comes down, then we'll move it up into our main watch list. NXC, uranium, all the uraniums are going to kind of look the same. They ran up, coming down. Here's that ONG, the oil guy, we're taking off. So if you want to see how quick and easy it is to maintain a watch list in Webull, you just right click, hit delete. Or I could move it to an ETF, and that is an ETF. So I can just say, okay, move to the ETF watch list. Here's Seagate. So you can see, if we zoom out a bit, you see it's been in a major downtrend. Question is that 53-ish going to hold? If so, and it turns up, then wherever that support level is and it turns and swings back up, then we would be interested in Seagate. So again, you can see very nice risk reward all the way up into the 80s. So, and then up to 114. So it's got a good risk reward, pays a dividend. Another uranium, very similar. URG. So that's what's in our bullpen right now. Thank you, Spacula. I appreciate the positive feedback. It's very nice. And again, Spacula's been great help. So thank you again. ST, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Ruan, thank you as well. Says new viewer. I've been watching a few weeks now. Enjoy the content. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you find it valuable, and thank you for joining us. If you're not already a member of our Discord, we'd highly recommend you become an active member of our Discord. A lot of these guys are in the Discord helping each other out. We've got a great community of BeachBum traders, help each other out, share ideas, etc. So now we'll look at our ETF spreadsheet very quickly. And just again, FYI, I show this. We'll go through any categories anybody wants to take a look at. These are ETFs we use to trade. It'll show good risk reward profiles, etc. I've been using this and updating it more and more. And our Patreons have access to this as part of their Patreon folder. So at any time, they have real-time access to this. And it gets automatically updated at the end of the day based on some other price target automation that I run. So I'll zoom this guy out a little bit so we can see more of the columns. You guys can let me know if it's too small. But what I'm looking for, you can see there's 3 columns of risk reward. There's current, there's support to resistance, and there's 52-week, and then bottom to top. So I guess there's 4 columns of risk reward. and it's measuring it from the current support level and resistance level. And the green highlighting says the risk reward profile gives me a better than a 2-to-1, which is what I look for. So again, this helps me very quickly go through categories of ETFs and identify potential opportunities. So I'm looking for, 3 to 4 of these green guys. Now, ARK-K, I'm not interested in. I can go into more detail on that one of these days if you want, but it's not one I'm going to pursue right now. Labu, same way. And again, we can see it's significantly above its support, so I'm not going to pursue that. Again, you guys could throw any categories you want to take a look at, or I'll just highlight the ones that show a significant risk reward or we have on our watch list. So this guy's interesting. We were watching it a while ago. If it comes down to support, then we would put that back on our watch list. That's dry bulk shipping. Emerging markets, I don't want to chase emerging markets right now. Europe, again, for a while we were looking at that. It's getting beaten down pretty much with the strong dollar. So again, not one I'm going to pursue right now. Home builders, here's nail. You can see we have it on our bullpen, but it's significantly above support. If it comes closer to that support level, then we would look at going long nail. STS, what are the natural gas tickers you are playing? Long would be, we play them using ETFs, using leveraged ETFs. I don't currently play natural gas with individual company stocks. We use the BOIL, BOIL, and I'll look at that in just a second. Here's the ETF. So the long is BOIL. You can see the risk reward profile. You can see where the support level is. So it's, up above its support, up above its 52-week low right now. And we use cold to short. So again, both of those guys are kind of sitting in the middle of their support resistance levels and their 52-week high and lows. So again, I'm not really looking at swinging either one of them right now. But they're great for, if you're a very nimble day trader, scalper, cold and boil, you can scalp almost every day. Natural gas swings several percentage points on any given day. You just have to be nimble and careful because it is very volatile. So, and sometimes, as Walter pointed out, I think yesterday, sometimes the reactions to data is not rational. Again, they came out with more inventory natural gas, which normally you'd expect the price to go down. The price went up. And they ran it up over 7, and then the next day or so it came back down, and it's currently coming down. So again, like part 1 is don't move till you see it. Follow the price action. Is whether it's rational or not, you can make money if you follow the price action, and that's what we use for natural gas. For oil, we typically use Gush or UCO to long. And you can see they're not terribly attractive because oil is currently sitting at 93.20. So oil's kind of high right now relative to its support levels. To short oil, we use DRIP or SCO. Now, one of the things I talked about, I think yesterday, is that both DRIP and Gush are based on oil and gas exploration companies. So there are individual company stocks comprising those ETFs. So sometimes the value, the price of those ETFs is going to move. Well, it always is going to move based on the price of the stocks that comprises it, which may be contrary to the price of oil. So oil might be going up, but because of market conditions, they're pushing all the stocks in that comprise those ETFs down, and so those ETFs are going to go down. So it can be a little counterintuitive sometimes. Now, SCO and UCO are based on the crude oil, the WTI price. So if you want something that more closely follows the actual price of WTI crude, then I would recommend using UCO and SCO. Again, they have slightly different risk-reward profiles, so I generally pick the one that's got the best risk-reward profile at the time. Again, right now, full disclosure, we're long drip. We've been long drip for quite some time, so we're betting in the long run that oil's eventually going to come back down. So, and I've been selling covered calls against that position to bank some cash against that position. So same thing with cold. We have a position in cold, shorting natural gas, and I sell covered calls against that to make money against that long position. So I hope that helps. I'm trying to check the chat, see if anybody has any other requests for categories. Are those a 2 or 3x? If the question is what the green stands for, it's 2x or better. And it's based on a risk reward, where the risk is the difference to the support level, the reward is the difference to the resistance level. And if it's 2 or better, then it shows up as green. The greens and reds here is showing positive, negative change. So I added more data recently. These are using the Google Finance functions. Again, this is not real time, so it could be delayed up to about 20 minutes. But in terms of picking, swings, what I want to look at, I find it useful. So, the oil plays. Again, oil's kind of high. It's up above 90 right now, so none of those is going to show terribly attractive. Although it's telling me drip is pretty good because it is high, but oil's currently going up. So if we wanted to add to our position in drip, it's saying it's not a bad risk reward profile, and we may look at that if oil continues up to an extreme level. But it has been, I don't even know how high it went, 120. So there's significant risk to the upside as well. So same thing with the downside. Gush isn't really showing a great current risk reward. It's not better than 2. So if it comes back down quite a ways, then we'd long oil, but that's probably at the 60 level. But again, it's very different. We've talked about for several weeks, swing trading, what you use, and the skill. We talked about this yesterday too, is the skills that you use for swing trading are different than day trading and short-term trading, etc. So you can, again, short-term trade these guys on even a daily, or day trade them on a daily basis if based on the price action. So I hope that helps. Okay, let me see if there's any other categories we want to talk about real quickly. If anybody has individual categories you want to look at or individual stocks, please throw them up in the chat. I'll take a look. Here's SOXL. So you can see the attractive risk-reward profile on SOXL. Again, here's the short on semiconductors. Again, it's not showing currently as being attractive, but it is also attractive once it comes down to support. You see where the resistance is on SOXL. So again, we're looking at longing semiconductors. We think the sentiment is extremely negative, and these are very cyclical. So when it bottoms and turns up, we'll long with SOXL, and then when it peaks out, we'll short with SOXL. But again, you can trade these on a daily basis as well. Silver, silver's been running. We got stopped out of our previous position in AGQ a while ago, but that's the one to long silver. The short on silver, we're currently long SLVO, and we just bank monthly dividends. So you buy that low, hold on to it, get monthly dividends, sell it high. There is a short ZSL, but it's not showing terribly attractive right now. But again, silver's one that's been volatile. If you want to day trade it, here's a couple ETFs you can use, or you can, use individual stocks. But again, I would prefer these guys, and just my personal preference. Less risk in terms of individual companies. Solar long. We saw solar got beat up pretty bad. It's not showing a great risk reward profile, but here's a couple solar ETFs, TANs and RAYs. And we talked about VTI. I have a video, and I believe it's referenced in the notes, is comparing VTI to VT and VOO, which is only on the S&P 500. So you can see, why we're looking at VTI versus VOO versus VT. You can see these guys have very similar risk-reward profiles, but VTI is just a little bit better. So currently, but again, there's other reasons we prefer VTI as well. So uranium, again, this is an ETF on uranium, but you can see it's kind of high relative to its support levels, so we're not really chasing that. Here's UVXY and SVXY. So again, if you want to, you want long volatility, we use UVXY. If we want a short volatility, we use SVXY. You can see where the support resistance levels on those guys are and the 52-week high lows, etc. So let me check the chat and see. There's also this VXX, and we had that on a watch list. That's another way to long. It's a little bit different than UVXY. So you can see it's kind of got a different risk reward profile. So either one of those, if you want a long volatility, we were watching both of them a couple weeks ago when the VIX was headed down. Now it's been headed up. So now we're more interested in a short position, swing short. So again, if anybody has any other categories, let me know. I can always jump back to this. Again, our Patreons have access to this. As I find new ETFs, I add that to this spreadsheet. We also have a sector tracker, which again, it's not completely real time, but I can see sector rotations by seeing, where's the volume moving, where's the changes. And again, when they rotate into energy, you can kind of see that. You can see these rotations. So I use this to track potential sector rotations during the day. So I find it very helpful. NVIV offering. I don't. That's a biotech, isn't it? Ollie in the Bay is asking about an offering on NVIV. I believe that's a biotech. And just FYI, is we've talked about this for quite a period of time. Is most biotechs lose a lot of money, and they need cash. Their cash burn's high. They're not making any money. And in this recession, high interest rate environment, high inflation, again, recessionary environment, I'm not even looking at biotechs at this point. So that's in the past, and one of these days I'll talk about biotechs, but we started out trading a lot of biotechs, and we made good money selling, trading biotechs, but that was many, many years ago. So again, we'll talk about it one of these days when the environment changes, and eventually it'll change. It'll come back around. It's another potential title. I was thinking about the Turn, Turn, Turn song, where there's a season for everything under heaven, and biotechs is one of those. Is there will be a season again, but it is just not now, in my opinion. So okay, shopping lists, kind of the same message that we've been talking about is, make sure anything that's on your shopping list is recession resilient, recession proof. We're in a rising interest rate environment. Again, we talked about yesterday, the expectation is the Fed's going to keep raising interest rates. It's just how far and how fast. We expect 75 basis points. Well, we expect a 1.25 for the rest of the year. Could be more. They could go 75 and 75 because the job market's resilient. Inflation's not coming down, so interest rates are going to keep going up. We're in a recession, so make sure any stock that you've got, they've got the cash to survive a recession. If not, they're not going to make it. So, if they've got interest rate sensitive debt, that's a bad thing, right? Because interest rates are going up. And if they're going to run out of cash, they're going to be gone. So that's, I'll try to wrap this up. I don't want to go too far beyond an hour on these. If you do have further questions, again, our Discord is free to join. You can, the invites in the description box below. Join our group. We've got a great group. Again, join our Discord, interact. We encourage activity, active participation. Invite your friends. Again, yesterday we talked about people that might have gotten blown up in the market. Let's get them back and teach them that they can make money in any kind of market, and we'll try to help them learn what ways they can make money that's best for them. So other than that, we hope you will subscribe and again hit the like button so that the YouTube algorithm will share this. Let's get more traders in our community. Let's keep building our community. You can also find, we have a Facebook group, we have a Reddit community, etc. You can find the links to all of our social media sites, as well as the invite to our Discord on our homepage, which is beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. We also have links to all the trading platforms, tools, resources, etc. that we use, all in the links category on our homepage. So I try to make a quick and easy reference for myself and all of our fellow BeachBum traders. So again, link section on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. Join our Discord. We hope you'll subscribe. If you have any questions, you can post them, add us in the Discord, in our Facebook group, via social media, in the comments below this video, etc. We'll respond as
BeachBum Trading
we're
Zap
able.
here said hello at Waffles waving hand. Welcome to the Beach with Umbrella BeachBum Trading Community's Discord server. Please let us know if /when /how we may help you succeed in your trading.
So that must have been you, ST. You can see I've got a automated application that prints out that welcome message. So welcome, ST. I'm glad you joined the Discord, as we probably all just heard. So hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great trading week. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Again, week of October 10th through the 14th. Again, hopefully plenty of ways that we can make money that we've talked about the past 2 days. So again, if you have any questions, let me know and we'll try to respond as soon as we're able. Otherwise, have a great rest of your weekend and a great trading week. Thank you. Goodbye.